So, hello world, and welcome everybody to the first edition of Innovation LD Insights with Ina. Hi. This interview is brought to you by Agile TD and Innovation Leadership Days. And before we get into today's topic, service design, I would like to invite you to visit our website, Innovation Leadership Days, and have a look at this awesome new conference we have for you. It's all designed for design thinking, game thinking, gamification, of course, service design, UX design, and much more. And this conference is designed to equip you and the whole team with new core methodologies to design meaningful human experiences and to innovate better, faster, and smarter. We want to ignite ideas with a refreshed perspective and a whole box full of tools to adapt and adjust to the needs and wants of customers, of employees, actually any stakeholder. So let's step into the future, and I hope we see each other at the Innovation Leadership Days. So, like I said, today we're talking about service design and about this book here, Woo, Wow, and Win, Service Design, Strategy, and the Art of Customer Delight, written by Patricia O'Connell and Tom Stewart, sorry. And the book was already published in 2016, quickly jumped on the bestsellers list, and was referred to as the most comprehensive guidebook for service companies and for entrepreneurs of all kinds. So I'm very happy that we are talking to Tom and Patricia today. Hi there.
Hello, Ina. Hello, Ina. How are you?
Thanks for your time, and thank you so much that you will be hosting 2 sessions at our conference this year in Potsdam. And I will just get right into the topic. And of course, the first thing I would like to know is, what do you actually mean by service design, or how you call it, SD times 2?
Well, I'll start. SD2 really stands for service design and delivery, because you can have a great design, but if you can't execute it, if you can't deliver on that design, it's really not very useful. And we like to think of service design as sort of the outgrowth of design thinking. You know, it's about design doing. It's what you do so you give your customers or clients the experience that you want them to have every time.
You know, one of the things that we started when we started working on the book and learning about service design and digging deeper into service design, is we realized that everybody understands, you know, the idea of product design, but services too, whether it's a hair salon or a consulting firm, a law firm, a bank, an airline, services too can be designed and should be designed just as meticulously, just as brilliantly as products can be.
Yeah, okay. I understood that, and I have to say I read the book, of course, and it definitely made sense to me. But what I'm wondering is, you also argue in your book that most companies, or 80%, I think you said, or you stated, of service companies don't really use this in their daily operations. Do you know why they struggle so much with implementing this idea?
Well, what we said actually is that 80% of advanced economies is in services.
Yes.
And so these ideas are applicable to them. And by the way, also useful to manufacturers, because more and more manufacturers are providing value-added services and interacting directly with end-user customers. But part of the reason is that almost all of what we've learned about management, including design, has started from an industrial base. And so writing and thinking in the native language of services, as it were, is relatively new. And so a lot of companies manage services either by analogy to manufacturing, which might not work, or they sort of just manage them without the framework that would help them manage better.
Yeah.
One of the things we've hoped to do, for example, with the 5 principles of service design, is to help provide a framework. Yeah. And one of the things we found as we were researching the book is the 5 principles of service design and delivery, which are unique to us and our book, is that they apply across industries of all types, sectors of all types, companies of all sizes. And that's why it's really such a useful framework and sort of a useful thing to keep. These are useful ideas to keep in mind as you're thinking about, are we doing a good job for our customers?
Okay. So you just mentioned those 5, and of course I wanna come to these now. So you posted, or you stated 5 principles of service design in the book. And can you just, I know quickly is is hard to do, but can you just go through these and explain to us and the viewers what you mean by them?
Well, rattle them off quickly. The first principle is that the customer is always right, only if it's the right customer for you.
Yeah.
And you have to, setting expectations and making sure that you are serving. You can't serve everybody. You have to. Service design and strategy are intimately linked, and that starts with deciding for whom you are, in business.
We've all been taught that the customer is always right, but that's really not true. If you cannot service a customer reliably, repeatably, scalably, and profitably, that is the wrong customer for you. You cannot go into McDonald's and order a hamburger medium rare.
And that sort of leads to the second principle, which is don't surprise and delight your customers, just delight them. The phrase surprise and delight, we think, sort of sends you off on the wrong track. And indeed, it sets you up to fail. It's hard enough to do what Patricia just said, which is set and meet those expectations every time. And so just like total quality management says, let's get rid of error and let's get things within a band, decide what delight is and nail that every time. That's the second principle.
Okay. Surprise confuses employees, and it also confuses customers because they don't know where the guardrails are.
Yeah.
And the third principle?
The third principle is really about heroics and the fact that good service design should not require heroics on the part of the customer or the employee. You should be easy to do business with, and it should be easy for people to do their job, to give customers the experience that you have designed, that you have led them to expect, that you have trained them, if you will, to know that they have a right to get from you.
Yeah. And that's really, when you see a company or employees of a company sweating to deliver the experience that customers expect, something's wrong with the way you've designed that work. So you don't want either party. I shouldn't be hard to do business with, and you should find, and I shouldn't have a hard time delivering on the expectations I've set.
Yeah.
And that applies. And this is the fourth principle, that applies wherever we're interacting. The fourth principle is that service design must deliver a coherent experience across all channels and touch points. And touch points means the whole journey. Service designers talk about the metaphor of a customer's journey from first learning about you to customer service and paying your bill and coming back. But it also applies to your partners, your ecosystem partners. An airline depends on an airport and transportation to and from the airport. So you want to design an experience that is coherent, whether it's in the store or on the web, at any point in the journey, or as much as possible with all your ecosystem partners.
Yeah.
And the fifth principle, which I think people will really love, is you're never done.
Yeah.
Innovate, iterate, create, and repeat as needed. Because customer expectations are changing because technology is changing. Nobody can stand still. And companies that stand still make a mistake. That doesn't mean you have to radically reinvent who you are. It just means you always have to be looking at, are we doing things the right way? Are we delivering the best experience that we can be delivering for customers?
Yeah.
Innovation's interesting in services. It's different. It's different in a number of ways. And I know we want to talk about innovation, and we'll be talking about them in Potsdam. And one thing is that when you think about product innovation happens in a lab, or it happens at bench scale, and it happens and then it moves out and something is produced. But service innovation can happen anywhere. It can be an innovative new service that you're offering, or it can be an innovative user interface. It can be, an automatic teller machine can have innovation at all times. It can have innovation across the entire journey. So in products, we often think that innovation is the responsibility of R&D.
Yeah.
In services, innovation can happen anywhere, from the service you offer to the way you send your invoices. And so it becomes very important to rethink who does innovation and how you do innovation, so that you're hitting those other principles of coherence, no heroics, delighting customers, and finding and serving the customers you can serve well.
Yes. So it's actually one of the biggest chances, I think, that lie within this principle when you look at the whole customer journey. And because you can have so many different points at where you can be or innovative or improve certain things where you touch point or touch base with your customer. And also what I really liked about your book is that you kind of look into the future by maybe already adding the employee journey. This is something that I would like to get into maybe in another video chat.
We'll save that for the next one, Ina.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's very interesting. I think most people would love to hear about this also at the conference. So just let me have one last question. You will have one keynote that you will be hosting in our conference. It's called Innovation, Design, and Delight, Leveraging Customer Capital for Co-Creation. Can you give us a hint of what you mean by that?
Well, one of the things we think about services is that products are handoffs and services are handshakes. There's the service provider and the customer. And and both hands have to squeeze to make that handshake work. When companies have a great relationship with their customers, energy and learning goes across that handshake, and you create something that you own together, which is the value of the relationship we have, why we continue to do business, the value each of us gets. And that happens with products as well, but it's services. That's the heart of the exchange. And that shared value is an asset. It's customer capital. And we'll talk about how to build that and how that happens in services.
And I think one of the great tie-ins to gaming is gamers are used to always having an innovative new experience, and games get better because of the information that is gathered by people who play the game. So in a sense, games are co-created by the players and the designers. And that's why we think it's a really fun way to leverage off the idea of gaming, is this co-creation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think, yes, that's a lot for me. And I'm so thankful that you made this clear again to me and also to our viewers. And I hope to get back to you maybe later this year to talk about your great tutorial that you will be hosting for us at the Innovation Leadership Days. And for now, I just have to say thank you again so much. I hope you have a great summer and over there, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.